and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the PC Boys Podcast. I am your host, Logan Locke. So, if you are watching this on YouTube, you're gonna notice that this is not a video podcast. I'm having issues with OBS. I've been, messing around with it for about an hour, and restarted my computer and everything, and I can't get myself to not lag when I do my video recording. And I've had this issue in the past, but normally I could resolve it relatively quickly, but I couldn't this time, no matter what I did. So I decided I'm just going to do an audio podcast. I'm going to put it up on YouTube. I'm going to put it up on Spotify, of course. But I just let you guys know why right up front there's no video. It's just because OBS is not working with me. So I do apologize. I hope to get that fixed soon. Rather that's in the form of a PC upgrade, or I can figure out what is, making everything lag. But without further ado, let's get into today's episode. So, I have been away for a while, as you guys know, and I missed out on a lot of big conversations. I've watched plenty of movies. Transformers 1, great movie. Venom 3, good ending. Some parts I had issues with, some parts I didn't. If you guys really want my reviews on those, you can always let me know on my Twitter. Just at me on Twitter, and I'll be able to do a video for you guys on those movies and do a little bit of a review. But today we are going to be talking about the Superman trailer and number one, how really good it is, and how Marvel and Disney is kind of reacting to this. So obviously, for those of you that have been around my podcast for a long time, I am a huge Marvel fan. I don't really care so much for DC. I haven't read many DC comics. I know very little. The bare bones or basics for each and every character for the most part I know, but nothing super in-depth or deep storylines, nothing like that. I enjoyed the old Christopher Reeve movies back in the day for Superman, the old Nolan Batman movies, and of course, the Batman and Blue Beetle I enjoyed as well as the original Wonder Woman. So I do like some of the DC stuff, but ultimately I just don't have this like crazy connection with the DC stuff as most people do. But it surprised me when the new Superman trailer dropped for James Gunn's new universe, essentially rebooting the DCEU to just the DCU, and it will be like Marvel's, cinematic universe, the MCU, except for DC. And it's literally a reboot. And this is their Superman. David Cornswett's going to be playing Superman, Clark Kent. And this trailer did exactly what the 28 Years Later trailer did, where the visuals and the music sets the tone of the movie in all the right ways. Obviously, for 28 Years Later, it's a horror movie, so all the music and everything used in that and the visuals was to make you unsettled, creeped out. In this movie, it was very hopeful and inspiring, which is exactly what Superman's supposed to be, an inspiring hero. And I think James Gunn has a real hit here. So just to give you guys perspective on this, Superman, as it stands now, the trailer dropped a few days ago, 3 days to be exact, and the trailer has over 36 million views, almost 36.5 million views, just off by about 100,000, but 36 million views in 3 days. That is huge when you consider the fact of how big of a giant Disney and Marvel is with the MCU. This is a whole different playing field in terms of DC having something here. Because for all of us that have been around the movie space for a while, the MCU was dominated time and time again over DC in terms of live action adaptations. And while DC had a few good movies, they didn't really have the success that Marvel did by a long shot. But now we're in a very different time where we're post-Endgame and Marvel has only put out like a handful of good movies, right? Spider-Man No Way Home obviously is up there as the top one. I personally like Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Not everybody does, but I would say that was one of their better ones that they have done since then. Of course, Deadpool and Wolverine made over $1 billion this summer, and I did a review on that. That is up on the channel. So that's obviously up there. Most people enjoy that movie. And there's some other ones in there like Guardians 3 and stuff. But overall, I would say most of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's perception for most people is not as good as it used to be or really bad. And that's really crazy because the MCU used to hold a firm grip over the superhero genre. And now with this Superman trailer, there has been a lot of buzz about this, okay? A lot of people like the Superman trailer. I like the Superman trailer. And the crazy thing about it is I'm not a DC fan, right? I'm not like a Superman fanatic. He's not even in my top 10 favorite superheroes. And this trailer made me feel something. It even gave me tears a little bit because the way that the music and the visuals that they used in this trailer were so well done that I was absolutely in love with the entire thing. I was like, I don't even know the plot of the film, and I'm already in love with it based upon the way that this trailer was. So whoever did the trailer for this, you deserve a raise, just like the 28 years later trailer, producer, whoever put that together. You guys both deserve raises because amazing trailers. Without any dialogue from the characters or anything, they convey so much. And it even has over like 126,000 comments just on the Superman trailer alone. And I chose to do it from DC's official YouTube page, which has around 4.69 million subscribers. So I took the highest viewed of all the trailers that are out. But a lot of people are really liking the trailer. It's having a very positive reception. Bob Iger even was very upset, trying to downplay, actually, how successful this trailer is. And I'm glad that this trailer is making Bob Iger very nervous, because that only means that the MCU, like, if this Superman movie actually comes out, blows, Fantastic Four out of the water in terms of box office, and this movie really hits the ground running, I think that Marvel, you're going to start to see better quality Marvel products going forward if this Superman movie is very successful. And I hope it is successful. Now, this comes out in July 11th to be specific. My birthday's on the 21st, so it is something I would like to watch around my birthday time. And, of course, we're having Fantastic Four release, which is going to be a big Marvel-named film coming out. Now, the question is, can Superman pull some of those Fantastic Four people and Marvel fans over to watch this film? That's the major question. And it is going to be difficult because you are going up against the Fantastic Four and the MCU. But I would also argue that that's kind of an advantage that DC has this time around, because the MCU is not in good standings with the audience like they used to be, and people have less confidence in them than they used to. So I think that them giving DC a chance and seeing what they have to offer over Marvel, I think, is a very high probability for them to do. But the thing is, with Fantastic Four, we're still waiting for them to get through that movie and stuff, where with Superman we actually have a trailer. We don't for Fantastic Four yet. So it's very hard to gauge which one of these movies is going to have the better box office tracking, just based upon pure speculation of how the Fantastic Four movie is going to look. But if the Fantastic Four movie looks really good, then it might cause problems for Superman. But we will see, ultimately. But I just wanted to run some numbers across you guys with two Marvel films, one being Spider-Man No Way Home and The Thunderbolts. Spider-Man No Way Home because it's one of the better, best MCU movies since Endgame, and it had a lot of hype and buzz, and it was like this big-time movie. And then The Thunderbolts, which comes out a few months before Superman, just to kind of gauge some things. So let's start off with Spider-Man. Spider-Man No Way Home, on a 7.5 million subscriber channel, so a few more, like 4 more million, close to 4 million more than the DC channel. This trailer managed to get 93 million views total. Now, obviously, on day one, it got a lot of views, but 93 million is crazy, okay? But you have to take into consideration how big of a movie Spider-Man No Way Home was, with the, theories and stuff of Andrew Garfield coming back, Tobey Maguire coming back, and the trailer confirming returning villains coming back. This movie was a juggernaut at the box office, and not only that, but just with the hype around the movie and the theories alone, this movie was able to get an impressive 93 million views. I think like the second trailer got like 80-something million. But that's not the point. This is the teaser trailer for No Way Home, just like the Superman trailer is a teaser with 36 million. Now, I'm not expecting Superman, which is a movie that is starting a whole new DC cinematic universe, first of the cinematic universe. I'm not expecting this movie to beat Spider-Man No Way Home, where it's the ending of a trilogy and you literally are multiversing in old classic villains from Spider-Man, from previous movies with Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. There's no way that this new Superman movie is going to live up to that level of hype. But based upon the reaction that it's gotten being the start of a new cinematic universe and what people are saying about it and reacting to it, including someone like me who is a diehard Marvel fan, Superman's not even in my top 10 favorite superheroes, never really read any DC comics or know much about DC, and this trailer has me wanting to watch this over anything Marvel, that is a big feat. You're taking a staunch Marvel guy like me, who knows very little, and saying, I want to see this movie. You did something very right. And James Gunn, who did do the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, knows how to pull on people's heartstrings. He does it very effectively. Now, taking a look at the Thunderbolts trailer, which this movie, like I said, comes out a few months prior to Superman coming out. It is only sitting at 18 million views. And that came out 2 months ago. So, the Superman trailer managed to surpass the Thunderbolts in 3 days compared to a trailer that came out 2 months ago. Now, granted, Superman is literally the hero of DC. Some argue Batman, but Superman is the hero of DC. And yes, comparing that popularity to the Thunderbolts, which is a much more obscure, it's not super obscure, but more obscure than most organized groups in the Marvel Comics universe. It's not fair to compare a big name like Superman to the Thunderbolts, okay? Like, obviously, the Thunderbolts having less than Superman makes sense. But my point is in terms of sales, right? Ticket sales. Now, granted, the Thunderbolts is not in direct competition with Superman. But the fact that the Thunderbolts, which is going to be the closest movie to Superman until we get the trailer for the Fantastic Four, then we can really start to gauge how well Superman can do. It's looking like Superman's going to be very much okay. I mean, 18 million views for a Marvel thing is not much in all intents and purposes. I mean, that is very little. And clearly it's going to be a very niche movie. It's not going to be a huge successful movie like other Marvel projects are. Now, with that being said, let us look at another Marvel project, Captain America. So, let me pull that up real quick. I wasn't going to, but I'm very curious as to what the perception is on that. So, give me a second here. It's really funny, because seeing DC actually coming out and hitting pretty hard like this is crazy. Okay, Captain America Brave New World. This is the trailer. It came out a month ago. 15 million views. This movie trailer here has less than Thunderbolts. Then there was a trailer that came out 5 months ago that has 21 million views, so a little bit over the Thunderbolts. So basically the next two upcoming Marvel movies have less traction and less excitement for them than Superman does. The only reason I say Superman might have trouble is because Fantastic Four is a big brand name and comes out the same month as Superman. But until we see the trailer and how many views it gets, what the reception's like on the trailer, we're not going to know if Superman or Fantastic Four is going to perform better. Now, if you want my personal opinion, so far, because I've seen the Superman trailer, I want to go see the Superman trailer. I want to see what James Gunn and the new DC universe has to offer. And even though I'm a Marvel fanboy, and I admit that full-heartedly, I'm very curious to see what they can do with it. I'm very hopeful. I want DC to succeed, because then Marvel will be forced to make good products again and good movies instead of whatever the monstrosities that we've been getting over the past few years. So, I'm really excited. There's also talk of Robert Pattinson's Batman even being in the DCU, because originally James Gunn said no, the Batman universe and the DCU are separate universes, but there's a lot of rumors lately that have been gaining traction on Twitter that I've been keeping an eye on, and I'm like, oh wow, they might actually put Robert Pattinson's Batman in the DCU, and I think they would be really smart for it. Number one, for me personally, I love the Batman. I am not a Batman fanatic. Matter of fact, I argue with people constantly if Batman or Spider-Man will win in a fight. Spider-Man, of course, would. I have very good reasons for that. But The Batman was a really good movie. A really good movie. And I want to see more of Robert Pattinson's Batman. I will go to the theaters to watch more Robert Pattinson's Batman. Haven't watched The Penguin yet, but I've heard it's really good, so I am going to check that out soon. But at the end of the day, Robert Pattinson's Batman has an established Gotham, established villains, and an established hero. Why hire a brand new Batman and make Gotham and everything all the way from the ground up again when you already have a foundation with Robert Pattinson's Batman? And might I add, Robert Pattinson's Batman, if I'm correct, has positive standings. If I'm correct, I mean, it's been a little bit. Well, the movie came out in 2022. Yeah, IMDb has 7.8, which some people could say could be better. Okay, as 85% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, let me see what the fans said about it. 87%. Okay, yeah, I was correct. I thought so. I was like, I remember a lot of people saying the Batman was good. The Batman has a great reception with critics and fans, okay? You're talking for critics, mid-80s, with the fans, high 80s, potential for 90s, in all honesty. The Batman is very, very well received, okay? Now let's talk about the Batman's box office. So, let's see, Box Office Mojo. There you are. My favorite site to go to. So, if we take a look at it, the Batman made $772 million worldwide. Now, to put this into perspective, if I'm correct, Spider-Man Homecoming made, I think, 800-something million? Let me check that really quick. Because Spider-Man and Batman, I would say, are relatively on par in terms of popularity. Spider-Man Homecoming grossed $700 million worldwide. Okay. So, Spider-Man Homecoming made $880 million worldwide. So, you're looking at around $100 million more than the Batman. But the major question is, what was the budget? Now, that's where things get a little bit more interesting. So, let me look at the budget. Because the budgets tell pretty much the whole story on everything. So the budget for Spider-Man Homecoming was $175 million. Okay. And let me pull up a different one here for the Batman. It's been a while since I've looked at these numbers because it's been years since I've had to do $200 million. Okay, so Spider-Man Homecoming. Hold on. So Spider-Man Homecoming had $175 million budget, and the Batman had $200 million. So, yes, Spider-Man Homecoming was more successful than the Batman. And in terms of financially, $200 million, you got back around 600 something million, but that's still a good profit. I mean, even if you equation in marketing, stuff like that, okay? And let's say that's like 100 million, high end 200 million, you're looking at anywhere between $300 to $400 million in terms of making and marketing the film. But at the end of the day, you made 772, so you would still be making a solid $300+ million on that movie. You're still making, a relatively decent gain. Even though I think it's, they made more than 300. I think they probably made 400, maybe 500 million profit on that film. And with Spider-Man, they had 175, made 880 million. So they made pretty good money on that. Better than the Batman. But the point is, the Batman was profitable by a decent margin. Critically and audience-wise, received it very well. You would be really stupid not to put Robert Pattinson's Batman as the DCU Batman. Because number one, it is a cheaper decision to do, right? You already have established lore, established characters, established Gotham. You would have to redo that from scratch and then hope that the fans like it. Rather than you already have something the fans like and just making it canon, like Daredevil and the Netflix series officially being made canon to the MCU, even though everybody suspected, including myself, it was for many years priorhand. It just makes more sense on a financial standpoint, right? Instead of paying two actors to be Batman in two different universes, have one actor be Batman in one single universe, and just say, yep, the Batman takes place in our universe. Very simple, very easy, cost-effective, and people like the Batman, and you made money on the Batman. So, for me personally, that makes sense. And like I said, if this new Superman movie does great, like does bonkers numbers, and then the Batman 2 comes out and that does bonkers numbers. You have your first two major heroes right there in the DCU. Just say the Batman movies are connected. Robert Pattinson is the DCU Batman, and you're set. You're golden. That's the major thing that I think is wild about all of these movies, is that DC has a good foundation, right? If the Superman movie, we've yet to see if it's a good movie or not, and we've yet to see if it's going to be, financially, positive. But I think if the Batman, or Robert Pattinson's Batman, that franchise becomes canon to the DCU, and Robert Pattinson is the DCU Batman, I do think you will make a profit. Even if the Superman movie, let's say, fails and doesn't do well, if you bring in Robert Pattinson as Batman, I think you will gain more people to buy into your universe, because you'll have good accolades and box office, production in terms of, net earnings and, earning gains from that movie into this universe. You'll get more people in the seats. Not everybody likes Robert Pattinson's Batman. I thought it was really good. It would definitely get my butt in the seat. And I think another thing that makes me like the Batman is because the Batman is Daredevil feeling, but for DC. Daredevil is, of course, a Marvel, is a Marvel hero, Marvel character, Marvel property. But the TV show was grounded, and it was adult. So, you had, really dark topics being discussed, blood, gore. Yeah, you had the whole 9 yards with it. But it felt real. The Batman feels real. It feels grounded. It feels gritty. Even though it's not rated R, so there's no, blood, guts, or anything like that, it still feels raw and real, and I like that. And it makes me a lot more invested. And I love the Batman. I thought the Batman was a phenomenal film, and I really hope that they put Robert Pattinson's Batman into the DCU. It would drive me to go watch the movies a lot more. And if this new Superman movie does well, then they are off to a great start. And then Marvel will really be worried and be forced to make better decisions. Ultimately, I've never been a DC guy, but I think if DC can hit the ground running with these movies, I might be talking more about DC than I am Marvel. Not because I know a lot about DC. Of course, I'll have to do some read-ups, some Wikipedia stuff, and some, fandom wikis and whatnot, to get all the information I need before talking about stuff. Maybe to get some more context on the movies, storylines, etc. But Marvel needs to step up their game. Marvel's been struggling for a while. Spider-Man 4 finally has a script. They're going to be getting production started this summer. So we'll start to get some Spider-Man 4 confirmed news. I could have done many podcasts on Spider-Man, rumors and stuff like that, but I'm not like that. I don't want to waste your guys' time with rumors. Until I know something concrete, I don't want to talk about it. The Batman rumor stuff is we're already talking about Superman, and Superman's looking really good. The trailer looks really good. A lot of people talking good about it. Let's talk about this, because, number one, it's a DC character. It's established. There's a lot of rumors about it right now. It's really hot. So, we'll see, if they do put Robert Pattinson's Batman in the DCU, and the Superman movie does good, you have a great start to your universe. Because by that logic, you would already have two movies that are successful underneath the DCU banner, and on top of that, in the same universe. And you already have goodwill built on that. So, we'll see. I look at it like this. The Batman 2 needs to do well. The Superman movie needs to do well. If both those things go well, I see Robert Pattinson's Batman being introduced. I think they should do it anyways. I mean, if the Superman movie does bad, I would still make an argument to put Robert Pattinson's Batman in there, because you got positive earnings on the box office for that film, and the critics and the fans loved it. So I don't see a reason not to put the Batman universe and connect it to the DCU universe and have Robert Pattinson be the Batman of the DCU. To me, it just makes sense. Business-wise, it makes sense. And from a fan perspective, it makes sense. And like I said, I know a lot of people love Christian Bale as Batman and, love other incarnations of Batman, but we aren't living in the past anymore. We're moving forward. And based upon the cards that we have right now, this seems like a better option than hiring a whole new Batman, making a whole new Gotham City with characters, like doing everything from the ground up when you already have something that's good and established. Like, it'd be one thing if the Batman crashed and burned, made no money, if, matter of fact, get losses on it, and the fans disliked it, okay, don't put the Batman in the DCU. But since it did make money, and it did get good perception, and people liked it, why wouldn't you? It's like a slam dunk, you know? It's easy money. As far as I'm concerned, it's very easy money. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have for you guys. I hope you all enjoyed the podcast, despite it being all audio. But I don't know when I'll be doing a podcast next. I've had a lot of time consumed because I work at the radio station. I've been having more time there, so that's been taking up a lot of time. I work 2 jobs, and this is a hobby. And I love talking about stuff. OBS is giving me difficulty. I want to get more video podcasts out. So it's just a matter of a multitude of factors. Do I have the time to do it with the jobs that I'm doing? Is there something concrete that I can talk about that's really, engaging and I'm excited about? And yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. I want to do more talking about stuff, but ultimately we just have to wait for good topics to come in, and hopefully OBS start treating me better. If OBS start treating me better, you guys will probably see me a little bit more. But if not, we'll have to do this audio format until I can get OBS sorted out. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. I hope you all enjoyed. The link tree will be down in the description below for all my socials and everything. They've been pretty dead for the past 3 months because I've been working a lot. But do follow me there. If I have some major updates or some crazy stuff I want to share, I will put it on those. But thank you very much for listening. God bless, and I'll catch you all in the next one.